Only Murders in the Building, Season 5.
The hit Hulu original is back.
The night Lester died, he was talking with this mobster.
Was he killed in a hit?
We need to go face to face with the mob.
Get ready for a season
Buongiorno, signore.
Oh, this is how I die.
you can't refuse.
You're gonna save the day, like you always do, by being smart, sharp, and almost always by mistake.
The Hulu original series, Only Murders in the Building, premieres September 9. Streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply. New episodes Tuesdays.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Say about the state of the Democrat Party when they have a 33% favorability rating on average in recent months, and they're willing to shut down the government over health care.
They are shutting it down. We're not shutting it down. We don't want it to shut down because we have the greatest period of time ever. I told you, we have $17 trillion being invested, so the last person that wants it shut down is us. Now, with that being said, we can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like. And you all know Russell
ladies and gentlemen, Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour on the air, the fastest hour in American media. It looks like, my friends, no matter what happens between now and tomorrow, I hate to say this, because it appears that there's going to be a government shutdown unless something happens that I just don't know what it could be. The two sides are very far apart. There apparently is no discussion going on at this moment to try to avert the shutdown. And it looks like neither side wants to flex. Now, of course, the posturing is endless. And Hakeem Jeffries, by the way, is just steamed out of his mind over a trolling that took place on social media yesterday. Donald Trump posted a video. It's an AI video. And anybody on social media sees these videos all the time. Trump is featured in some of them. There have been some hilarious ones that AI creators make. One that comes to mind is with Donald Trump, Zelensky, and Putin as a mariachi band. And these things are all over the place. They're not uncommon. So Trump reposted one yesterday after they had the big sit down at the White House of Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer standing side by side, as if they're addressing a press conference. And the Hakeem Jeffries has, you can tell, it's not even done it's an animated looking sombrero on, a cartoonish sombrero with a mustache, with the pointy mustache pointing up. And of course, Hakeem Jeffries and some of these media types act like they've never been on social media, that they've never seen it before, and Hakeem's having a cow about it. Yeah, I'm getting that out of the way early because there are some other serious things happening with this. So that was the big one. And we have the audio of that video. And it has some language in it. But yeah, it has language in it. And that language is, how shall we say, adult-oriented. But the fact that, okay, here it is, cut 6. Here's the audio of that video mocking pretty much Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bull. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
So that's it. It's okay. Some might say, gee, That's a little bit important. But it's not uncommon in the world of social media, is my point. That's not even the worst of it. And, okay, Hakeem Jeffries. Cut 5. Hakeem Jeffries had a presser reacting to it.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face. House Democrats?
Say it to my face. Say it to me. You got something to say about me? You got something to say about me? Say it to my face. Say it to my face. Say it to my face. Okay. Next time in the Oval Office, who says you're going to be in the Oval Office again? Say it to my... And, of course, then you get the analysis from the Democrat Party allies in the media. Hakeem Jeffries was on PMS NBC. When is it going to become PMS Now or whatever they're changing it to? Anyway, he was on PMS NBC. Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas was on with Caitlin Collins of CNN. And let's start with Senator Roger Marshall on with CNN's Caitlin. Trying to sound so serious. Caitlin Collins.
We heard from the president late tonight on his view, I guess is how I would put it, on how the negotiations at the White House went today. I want to get your reaction to what the president posted.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bull. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us.
Is that appropriate in your view?
Look, I think sometimes the president plays with the press like a little boy and a flashlight and a dog. And he's shining the flashlight here and he's shining it there. What he's saying is this offer from the Democrats is ridiculous. $1.5 trillion on top of funding that they already agreed to. That what they're asking for is completely ridiculous. It's disingenuous. And then for the Democrats to sit there and blame Republicans for the plight of rural hospitals is just so wrong. The problems with rural hospitals would be their policy, not ours.
But couldn't the president just say, these demands are ridiculous, and not post a video with Hakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero and putting that voice over Senator Schumer talking about people of color and immigrants?
I think he said that several times already. And then for them to come and not to make any really serious offer, why didn't they just say, look, let's just talk about these extra COVID-era subsidies, these extra subsidies that are costing some $35 billion a year. Let's make those just for the people who really need them. Let's go back to the original ACA and make this for people under 400%. They didn't bring us a serious offer there. Look, in my estimation, Chuck Schumer wants the government to shut down to settle a political score.
Yeah.
Well, couldn't the president, if he's supposed to, couldn't he post a video without Hakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero? I mean, can you at least find one without the sombrero on? I mean, that's very, very highly, very, very offensive to see Hakeem Jeffries with the sombrero. It's beyond the pale. I mean, goodness, couldn't you people find a video? Couldn't you find one without Hakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero? All right, Hakeem was on. This is why he does it, don't you understand? This is exactly why Donald Trump posts these things. Because you people melt down. Couldn't you find a picture of him? Couldn't you find a video of him without wearing a sombrero? So Hakeem Jeffries was on Lawrence with another full of himself. This guy is so full of himself, in my humble estimation. Lawrence O'Donnell. Hey, does anyone know if this guy's related to the one over in Ireland? Anyway, so he was on, that's cut 6. He was on with Lawrence O'Donnell. And this is how that went. No, we don't have that. What do you mean? Cut 8. I'm sorry, cut 8. Daggone it.
They're going to see it. They'll see it in other ways. It's easy to find. But it is absolutely disgusting in every way. It is a lie. It's the man you met with has now lied about what you said after that meeting. Could you give us your reaction to that Trump posted video tonight?
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault on all the things, Medicaid, Medicare, the Affordable Care Act.
Well, my word, I've never been so insulted. We're fighting. By the way, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Because I heard Chuck Schumer say something that I just have to correct. In fact, I'm looking at the clock. We have time to get to it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck U. Schumer, cut 3 on why it is essential.
We met with the president for the first time
with him
since all of these issues started, even though we have requested repeated meetings with Leader Thune, Speaker Johnson, and the president. We have very large differences on health care and on their ability to undo whatever budget we agree to through rescissions and through impoundment, as well as pocket rescissions. And I think for the first time, the president heard our objections and heard why we needed a bipartisan bill. Their bill has not one iota of Democratic input. That is never how we've done this before. When I was leader, we negotiated 4 times with Republicans, and we never had a shutdown. And so it's up to the Republicans whether they want to shut down or not. We've made to the president some proposals. Our Republican leaders will have to talk to them about them, but ultimately he's the decision maker. And if he will accept some of the things we asked, which we think the American people are for, on health care and on rescissions, he can avoid a shutdown. But there are still large differences between us.
Now, you heard him say, Republicans he accuses of, well, they must negotiation of, after all, this bill that they did without not one iota of Democrat support. They did it all themselves. What are we standing here, sitting around talking about? A lot of the Democrat effort in this has to do with health care. The entire health care system of the United States of America has been thrown into chaos, worse chaos than it ever has been. And it's been enduring that chaos ever since Barack Obama and Chuck Schumer and then at the time Nancy Pelosi forced through a measure that we popularly call Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. Nothing affordable about it, by the way. Not one Republican voted for the biggest overhaul of American health care that has put this country in the situation that it is now. That bill exacerbated everything that was wrong with America's health care system. It exacerbated the role of the insurance companies. In fact, I have a story. Steve Moore has been out there talking about how the biggest lobbying group right now for these funding restorations that Democrats are whining about are insurance companies, because they want their share of money to be uninterrupted, regardless who's getting it. not one Republican's input was sought after or went into this humongous overhaul, this disastrous overhaul of America's health system. And this man has the nerve to sit and talk about Democrats don't have any input in a measly CR bill to keep things just flowing. We got to take a quick break. James Golden, Snerdley. James Golden, Snerdley, fastest hour in American media. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get too off, and this happens, fastest show in, we have a quote from this guy, Mondami. You have got to hear this. Unrelated to the budget shutdown, cut 13. But listen to this.
Oftentimes, we've even found as legislators, when we go into these courts, the term violent crime is even used when people are stealing packages. Violent crime is even used when people are accused of burglary and there happens to be a housing unit in that same dwelling. So violence is an artificial construction. And we have to be very clear that what is happening here with these district attorneys, that is violence. That is violence of the highest degree.
Do you believe this? Violence is an artificial construction. With people getting murdered, raped, violently and savagely beaten all over New York, violence is an artificial construction. And this guy, so far, is doing a bang-up job attracting progressives, not just in New York, but all around the country. Violence is an artificial construction. Who are these people? Besides insane, I mean. We'll be back. Fastest hour in media continues. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me,
tell it to my sombrero.
Don't cop out to a racist and fake AI video.
Racist.
Yeah. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Say it to my face. Say it to my face. Come on.
House Democrats? Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bull. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
This sombrero stuff has me running. I tell you, I have never seen anything funnier than Democrats trip and have this cow along with these Caitlin Collins. Even you can find a picture of anything but this sombrero. Can you find another video without this sombrero? These people are just so, they've got like something stuck somewhere. And I don't want to say what it is that's stuck or where it's stuck. But that's what they do, act like they've got something stuck somewhere. Okay, I mentioned this, and then we have to talk about Hegseth, because Hegseth has done something remarkable here, and the media hates him, they hate it, and so I've seen nothing but criticism, and this is just insanely incredible what Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump said today. The one that Donald Trump said is going to set him off even. You talk about Sly, I want to take you higher, I'm going to take him all the way higher. But Yes, I know Linda Ronstadt recorded it too. She recorded a few. That was back before she was going with Jerry Brown. Anyway, Stephen Moore, it's in the Daily BS today. The giant insurance companies, including United Health, Blue Cross, and Humana, are leading what Capitol Hill sources tell Steve Moore described as an unprecedented lobbying blitz to restore hundreds of billions of taxpayer-funded Obamacare and medical advantage subsidies. So this is part of the things that is what's fueling these Democrats. Yes, and they're out saying, oh, no, we don't. We have it, Hakeem Jeffries, once again with this. Oh, we don't have any illegal immigrants taking medical benefits. And that's just rot gut. But here's this other story. This isn't going to help seniors or poor households. Brian Blaze, longtime healthcare expert, worked in the Trump White House, calculates most of the reimbursement money that would come from reinstating these billions of dollars wouldn't financially benefit patients at all. The premium subsidies would mostly go straight into the bank accounts of the mega insurers. The dirty little secret of the healthcare system since the Obamacare takeover, with not one Republican vote. Republicans completely shut out of this, and Chuck Schumer's talking about, but we Republicans, we Democrats, we don't have one vote supporting the CR. We weren't included. Republicans weren't included in the biggest overhaul to hit our nation's history of health care. Not one Republican vote, no Republican infusion. Democrats did it on their own and shoved it down the throats of America, and America is still paying for it to this day. And right now, according to Steve Moore and others, you have this unprecedented lobbying going on in Washington, D.C. to make sure that these subsidies get restored. The dirty little secret of the healthcare system since Obamacare was enacted in 2010 is that the biggest jackpot winner has been the insurance industry. Their stock has risen roughly 4 times faster than the average for stock indexes. So by some estimates, restoring expanded taxpayer subsidies are worth $30 to $50 billion to the insurance I'm going to just call them cartels. And that raises the question whether most health insurance spending is really needed at all. If every single American had just simply a catastrophic coverage plan that could help families avoid going bankrupt if they have catastrophic diseases or a terrible accident, we could simply pay routine health bills out of pocket and cut out these insurance middlemen. And this is something that Obama, the rest of these Democrats, never wanted to talk about. Again, Obamacare, which is still plaguing this nation and has so much to do with this government shutdown, Democrats are screaming to get money back to their pals in the insurance lobbies and back for illegal immigrants no matter what they say, as well as restoring funding for PBS, NPR, and all that stuff. Yes, Carlos, you had a question.
So what's going to happen at midnight? Because I see countdowns on like all stations that we have here.
Oh, yeah, baby. What happens at midnight is that the your government shuts down. It's done. Everybody except all of the, get this, see, first of all, Carlos, we've been through this before. So let me ask you to ask another question. Ask me how it's going to impact your life.
How is it going to impact my life?
It won't. You're going to come to work. You're still going to work. If you, believe it or not, if you have to get on a plane, I saw a big one. How are we going to travel if the government shuts down? Oh, damn. Damn, what do you mean how are we going to travel? We're going to travel. Now, non-essential government operations will be shut down, which begs another question. If they're non-essential, why do we need them? Now, that Trump cut that we played at the beginning of the show, let me tell you something. These people are walking into a trap, and they don't know it. Because what Trump is saying, and I heard him pull himself back. He said, oh, this gives us a lot of ability to do things we couldn't do if the government was open. And Princess Diana, spoke to our audience on the Saturday program about the budget office, Ross Vogt. And this guy has plans. And this idea that if the shutdown happens, there are going to be layers of mass firings across the federal government. Don't sleep on this. This is a big, big deal. Republicans in the past have been too timid. See, Carlos, we've had these shutdowns before. Back in the days of Bill Clinton, when Bill Clinton was president, we had shutdown, and Democrats blamed it on Republicans. And because Bill Clinton was such a good communicator, it got through that, Republicans are to blame. And ever since then, Republicans have been timid. Their little tails go between their legs. You know when a dog when the dog does something wrong and you bust it on, that little tail goes up in there between them hind quarters? Republicans have been a party like that. Their little tails go up in their hind quarters like they do something wrong when they think about shutting down the government. Democrats have no fear like that. But this will be Chuck Schumer's shutdown. There are 7 Democrats in the Senate that will shut this government down under the direction of Chuck U. Schumer. Period. Now, we had so many good sound bites to you. And time, of course, time. We got to get to this Hegseth stuff. You know, Pete Hegseth, called a meeting, and the liberals been panicked. What's this big meeting? Called all the top military guys to D.C., right? And so after the meeting, you have all these stories. He could have done this meeting by email. Why did he have to do that? Well, we have Pete Hegseth. And we have 2 bites from Peg Hegseth that I want you to hear. One is what is expected in the military, and that's cut 14. So this is Pete Hegseth from this big meeting, this big confab in D.C. with all the top military brass.
Truth. To ensure peace, we must prepare for war. From this moment forward, the only mission of the newly restored Department of War is this: warfighting, preparing for war and preparing to win, unrelenting and uncompromising in that pursuit. Not because we want war, no one here wants war, but it's because we love peace. We love peace for our fellow citizens. They deserve peace, and they rightfully expect us to deliver it. Our number one job, of course, is to be strong so that we can prevent war in the first place. The president talks about it all the time. It's called peace through strength. And as history teaches us, the only people who actually deserve peace are those who are willing to wage war to defend it. That's why pacifism is so naive and dangerous. It ignores human nature and it ignores human history. Either you protect your people and your sovereignty, or you will be subservient to something or someone. It's a truth as old as time. And since waging war is so costly in blood and treasure, we owe our republic a military that will win any war we choose.
And that has liberals upset, but this really took them over the top. I read it was either one of the Washington Post, New York Times, one of those. I'm not sure which one yet. Novice secretary. The tone of the article, I'm not going to use the exact words because I don't remember them, but the tone of the article was novice secretary of state lectures the military. Like, because he's younger, he's the secretary of defense. And then another one, Pete Hegseth lectures military on their grooming. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I figured it out after I heard what Pete Hegseth said. And that's cut 26. And this is what Pete Hegseth said.
With physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already.
Folks, this is upset. This is upset, apparently, the culture like you can't believe. He is demanding that everybody in the military deal with fitness. And this is not about grooming. This is about having the fittest military and the highest military standards in the world. This is a game changer. And I guarantee you the resistance on this is going to be insane. And you're already hearing, and here's something else I predict. I predict within the next 2 or 3 days, you will hear certain members of the left claim that this initiative by Pete Hegseth is not only toxic masculinity at its worst, but that it is going to discriminate against female members of the military. This is a game changer. And it is not about grooming. It is about the culture of American military. This is a really big, big deal. And you can bet that there are a high number of ranking members tonight in the military that are absolutely fuming over it. Because and others are celebrating like finally somebody gets who we are, what we're supposed to be. James Golden, Snerdley, keep it right here. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Next time I'm in the Oval Office, say it to my face. You watch what I do. You watch what I do to you. You say that to me about you. Oh, we're back. Okay. It is his birthday today. He just retired this year, and he's just one of the greatest ever. The one and only Johnny Mathis, born in 1935. Anybody that knows the history of Johnny Mathis knows that I could spend the rest of the show talking about him, his music, his history, his legacy, his voice, everything about him. He's just one of the most remarkable vocalists ever. We have to go, though. And by the way, it's also birthday today for some, yes, people that I love. Cissy Houston, mother of Whitney Houston, one of the great background artists of all time, and she had a solo career. It's her birthday. She passed away in 2024. Frankie Lyman, from Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, heavenly birthday today. Also, Marilyn McCoo. Marilyn McCoo, Billy Davis, of course, husband and wife. Very, very religious, beautiful couple. Fifth Dimension, and then their own career. We got to go. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you. your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude always, my friends, for you being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, we're back tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Until then, my friends, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?